Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Boss Talk. I'm glad that you're joining me tonight, and we have a really good topic that we're going to talk about tonight. Stop discounting everything. That is something that I know sometimes as a new business owner, a young entrepreneur, or even if you've been around for a little while, and things start to plateau, you have a tendency to do that. But we're going to talk about that and how to break the cycle. So, uh, I I am the host, Beverly Brister of Boss Talk. I'm also the owner of Beverly's Web Shop, and we are live right now on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you're out there as you're coming in, please let me know where you're watching us from, and I'll shout you out because I can see your comments. So we're going to dig right in. So, we're talking about stopping the discounting on everything. Um, like I mentioned before, let's say you're starting out, you have your prices and everything, you have everything set up, you know your product's good, you know your service is great, and you are ready to go, and business is a little slow. So you have a tendency sometimes, the customer comes in or customers come in, they're looking, how they kind of look around, they sniff around and see whether or not they want what you have. um, and they're debating. So what happens? Sometimes you have a tendency to just give in and say, you know what, let me discount this for you. Let me give you this at a, you know, no, this is a sale, special sale price. And then after a while, you get in the habit of doing that, and you kind of get caught in this rut, right? So we're going to talk about that. You have a tendency to do that, but we're going to stop the cycle. So let me tell you a few things that happen to your business when you do that. When you constantly discount things, it makes it look like your prices that you have set are super inflated. Like if you're always offering something at like below cost, or 10% up to 70% off and half off all the time, for the shopper, they're going to think that, well, maybe your prices were pretty inflated to begin with. And so you have to slash them to something normal before they can get the sale. So you don't want to do that, because that kind of puts that in a person's mind that, well, they're going to be on sale because their prices are super inflated. Also, what it does to your business is that when you cut your prices all the time, you eventually will eat away at your bottom line and your profits. And there's always the cost of doing business, which, if you're entrepreneur, business owner, or just part of a business, there's always costs associated with your business. And you need to price your products and service in a way so that you bring in the profit, but you also can pay off the things that make your business run. So that's something to consider. Good evening, Minister Williams. I see you watching from New Jersey. Thank you for watching over on YouTube. Appreciate you. The next thing that it does is that when you slash prices, and then all of a sudden you realize that you get to a place where you have to actually raise your price, when you have the customers come in that come in all the time for the sale, then they're going to be like, well, what happened? I thought this was on sale. And now you kind of put a little, this trust a little bit in the mind of the consumer, because now you having to raise the price. And like, well, I'm going to go over here where they had the discount, or where I know I can get the discount, because this is just this is too much now. And so you kind of put shadow of doubt in the client's mind, the customer's mind, sometimes when you slash prices all the time. Now all of a sudden you have to raise it to kind of overcorrect yourself. So there are ways that we can break the cycle from doing that. And again, I know it's sometimes hard, especially if you don't get a lot of sales or a lot of business in a particular season, and you really want that customer. Your product and service is good, but it gets to be a little bit of a lull. Try to keep yourself from having to always slash your prices. So what would you do? First, research your product or service. Look at your competition, see what they're selling their comparable goods for. Look at the other parts of your industry, like associations, other business groups, things that carry similar or complementary products and services to what you're offering. And just kind of look at what the median price is. But more importantly, because you really, the budget is all about what you can handle. So look at what it costs you to make that product, good, or service. Look at what other factors go into making that product or service, and make sure that you at least cover your cost. When you do that, then you tack on what you believe to be a good percentage or dollar amount to be something that you could bring in as a profit after those costs are made. That would be beneficial to you and to keeping your business running, and so that you can invest those funds back into your business, and then that see if that price point works in the market. And also keep in mind that what your competitors are doing, not that you copy them, but it's important to see what others in your industry are doing, to see if you're in line or if you're either too high or too low, because that also makes a difference too, and what the customer believes to be a good value and a good product or service. You also want to put guidelines around your discounts. So it's not a bad thing that you have discounts in sales, but you want to put parameters around it. You want to make sure that you have a start and an end time. It's not a forever sale. And every time you come in, there's a big red glaring 50% off everything in your store, what have you. You want to make sure that you have select items that you put on sale. So you have certain products or certain groups of products, certain category of products that you put on sale for a finite amount of time. And you want to create FOMO, fear of missing out. So make sure that you could tell people in advance that you're going to have a sale, 2-day sale, 24-hour sale, just something that kind of pushes them to have urgency in them getting to your product or service, so that they get it and know that that sale is not going to be around forever. And once it's gone, it's gone. Now you can still later on have another sale, have some other discounts, but now you have set parameters around it, so you know that in this particular quarter of your business, you're going to run a sale on select products, and it's not going to really negatively affect your bottom line. So that's some things to keep in mind there. Another thing that you want to definitely do once you set your prices, stand firm on them. Your price is your price. Oftentimes, I've seen uh, customers come in and they want to be a little argumentative, or kind of push you a little bit, because they will threaten well, I'll go to your competitor and I can get this cheaper elsewhere. But you know what? Your price is your price. Once you've done the research, you looked at what the market is selling these products and services for, you looked at your own budget and compared and looked at what you can afford to cover the costs for, and what you can tack on as the item, as the percentage or dollar amount to make your profit, and that's your price. That's it. And you know what, that product or service or that customer is not always for you. Now that's going to be another Boss Talk episode that I'll talk about coming up in the next month. But sometimes that is, the customer, every customer that comes through the door is not always going to be the right customer for you. So keep that in mind, that, what, if that customer comes in and doesn't like your price and walks out, there'll be other people that will. But more importantly than your price, you want to make sure that you're selling the solution, because your product or service is really a solution and an answer to what your customers are looking for. Because with your customers, with any customer in any business, you solve a problem for them. They have a problem, whatever it is in their business, in their lives, with kids or different, whatever their obstacle is, they're looking for solutions. And so you are offering a solution to fix whatever it is. So sell them on the benefits, sell them on how it will work for them in the future, how it's better than what your competitors can do. If it's a service related item, you talk about all the services you can provide that maybe the big box stores can't. Talk about the way that your product can continue to solve the problem infinitely, like going forward, how it can be that much more of a benefit to them compared to the one and done that they can purchase from another competitor. So just some things to keep in mind there to break the cycle. Now, if you have questions about how to get out of the rut specific to what you're dealing with, please join me on my Instagram live, Boss Talk After Hours at 7:35 p.m. this evening, because we'll have a live Q&A about it. And I'll be happy to answer any of your questions that you have about breaking out of the cycle of discounting everything. If you're a new business just starting out, or if you've been around and you have problems with knowing how to properly price your items, your product or service, let's talk about it. I'll be glad to do a live Q&A with you. So join me on my Instagram platform at Beverly's Webshop, 7:35 p.m. tonight. We'll do the live Q&A. I'll be happy to answer your questions live on the air. And if you don't want to ask the questions live, send me a DM. I'll be happy to answer them for you offline too, if you're more comfortable that way. But I'd love to talk to you about it. Now, I also offer private business coaching sessions. One in particular that will cover things like pricing, setting your pricing, is a session that I have called Refocus, Regroup, and Reset, where we talk about, we dig into creating business strategies that work for you and your line of business. It's a 90-minute session. So you can go to my website, bevswebshop.com, and you can schedule time with me for this Refocus, Regroup, and Reset business strategy session. So again, I'm glad that you joined me and that we're talking about stopping discounting everything. I hope you found this informative, and please join me at 7:35 p.m. this evening on my Instagram platform. I'll put it up again. I'd love to do a live Q&A with you to talk about ways that you can stop the cycle of discounting everything. Or even, if you find that you hold firm on some pricing, but then you discount other things and you just want to get out of that and just want to definitely stand firm on that and know how to still make your bottom line happen, let's talk about it. I'd love to answer your questions. So again, I'm Beverly Brister from Beverly's Webshop, and thank you for watching Boss Talk. And this has been Stop Discounting Everything. Join me at 7:35 p.m. this evening, Eastern Time, to do a live Q&A. Talk to you soon.